All right, we're live. What's up, everyone? So, today I would like to talk about the importance of mastery and how mastery in the beginning, it's funny because people look towards mastering something so they can get a result instead of the fulfillment that they can get from mastering something. And I've always been fascinated by those who can perform at a high level, who can play at a high level, and who can do things at just a different level than everybody else. And I always ask myself the question, why are they able to do that? What is allowing them the process? And is it something that only they can do, or is it something that can be tapped into? And as I've gone through my journey, I've seen time and time again, it absolutely can be tapped into for anybody. Mastery is something that it can be gifted to anyone when the process is done correctly. And there were things that I've done on my journey and things that I've helped others on their journey to really obtain their form of mastery, taking themselves to a different level altogether. It was really interesting. I had the opportunity to fight in the UFC. I wrestled at ASU, ended up taking third in the Pac-10, and I was an academic athlete. And I've gone with high caliber people too on my journey. And honestly, you can't get there without going with high caliber people. But mastery ultimately comes down to there's one piece that every master has. As I've gone through my journey, there's one thing that always shows up for these masters. And what's so funny about it is I had to look backwards to realize this was true. Because when you're in it, you're not really thinking about it as much. And so I'm like, I really did think some people had it and some people didn't. And the truth is that one thing comes down to being a very curious person, being able to look at something and say, how can I do this thing better than I did it yesterday? And so a true master is always in search, and a master is always the student. So they're both on the same coin. A master is always looking to get to the highest level, and they'll achieve something, but the fulfillment of curiosity, the fulfillment of seeing what I can become, seeing what I can do, trying new things, testing new things, seeing if I can obtain an even higher level just for the fun of doing it. That's where true mastery comes from. And so as I've gone through my journey going from MMA fighter to entrepreneur, I'm taking this entrepreneurial journey and having a lot of fun along the way. I'm learning a lot of lessons along the way, and specifically putting in the reps. They talk about putting in the reps, and I coined that phrase because Rick, a friend of mine, who me and him became really good friends on our entrepreneurial journey, he always talks about putting in the reps. And those reps, it's not just the reps that you put in when people are watching you, it's the reps that you put in when people aren't. Usually those are the most important reps that you put in. And so when you're in this pursuit of mastery, um, know why you're doing what you're doing and stay curious, stay purposeful. Because when you're curious and purposeful, you're going to put in those real perfect reps. And I talk about perfect practice leads to perfect because you have to do it. You have to go out there and you have to stretch yourself in ways other people might not. And that's okay. Ultimately, going through the mastery phase, enjoying being a kid and an adult. The kid in you is always going to be curious, always going to want to learn more, always want to be a dreamer, always going to stretch themselves. in ways adults sometimes don't, because they get put into this weird box of this is the way things are. And it doesn't have to be that way. You can always stretch and grow and learn and bring on mentors along the way. Bring on high performing mentors, ones that have shown success along the journey, not just on themselves, but for others as well. Having the ability and the capability to show that, yeah, we can get you to this next place, this next phase. And a great mentor is someone who pulls it out of you instead of just feeds it to you. But I think it's important to do both. So figuring out the balance of someone who's going to feed you with knowledge and also pull things out of you, pull that greatness out of you. And as I've gone through my journey and speaking specific on a mastery once again, when you get to that place where, actually, I'll tell you a story. So in jiu-jitsu, for instance, there are ranking systems. And just like any endeavor, there's going to be some form of ranking, some form of hierarchy. And in this hierarchy, you'll have, so it goes white belt, blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, black belt. So you're going through your process, your white belt, your blue belt, your purple belt, your brown belt, and your black belt. And a black belt has obtained it. They have attained mastery. They have gotten to a level where they're so proficient in their craft that they know all of the ins and outs. And in this story, so the black belt ends up making it to the pinnacle. But the true black belt trains so hard that their black wears off and becomes white again. Because it's about constantly putting in that same amount of effort consistently, no matter how far you've gone, no matter how far you want to go, always putting in that consistent effort. And some people may see that as a drag, but let me give you a reframe. And what a reframe is, just a different perspective of looking at it. Just like your favorite food, your favorite experience, your favorite opportunity, that's how these experiences are too. So the experience of mastery is something that you get to obtain again. Instead of looking at it as it's this thing that I can never obtain, you will obtain it. You will get to mastery. And always realize there's always a new form of mastery, a new form of experience, a new form to go about things and have fun on your journey. So keep having fun. Keep enjoying yourself. Be curious, ask questions, and see who you can become. And also, who do you identify as? You are a capable, adaptable individual. If you do something long enough, you'll get better at it. Let me take that back. If you do something long enough correctly, you'll get better at it, because you can't do something long and do it wrong and you just get worse. So focus on doing it right. Perfect practice equals perfect results. And just as I talk about, championship habits lead to championship results. In order to be a champion, it's about getting your habits right. And one of those habits is the pursuit of mastery, going all in on yourself, giving as much as you can, learning as many lessons along the way, and perfecting your craft. So I hope you all have an amazing day. I will talk to what is up, Carol. Great to see you. And I never know why it always shows Facebook user. Like, maybe the StreamYard's having trouble reading it, because I am on both Facebook and YouTube. But good morning to you. And you all have an amazing day. And I will talk to you later. Take care.